Here are the top 10 most expensive Mercury dime coins ever sold at auction. Let's start off with the 1942 proof Mercury dime. This is the last proof coin for this era of the US Mint, when minting of proof coins were temporarily halted, a practice that would not be resumed again until 1950, leaving a nice 8-year gap where no proof coins were minted at all, effectively also making it the last Mercury dime proof with a mintage of 22,329 coins, the largest mintage for this very short proof series. A beautiful example displaying some halo toning was graded by PCGS as proof 69 and was sold at auction in 2019 for the sum of $98,437. The 1923 S-dime was widely hoarded in the 1940s and 1950s, once the economy began to recover and the low mintage figure of 6,440,000 coins became known. The problem is that most of these coins were pulled from circulation, and after decades in circulation, the coins had become well worn, making a mint state example, especially those with full band details, coveted by advanced collectors and registry set owners, like this MS66 full bands example from PCGS that sold at auction in 2018 for $105,750. And then that brings us, rather surprisingly, to the only true variety coin on this list, in the form of the 1942 over 1 overdate Mercury dime. This coin is actually not a classical overdate in the sense of a restruck date, but is really a hub-doubled reverse, or a double die reverse. Though the overdate is such a bold part of the design, it completely steals the show, and with very good reason. This example of the variety is housed in a PCGS slab with the grade of MS66 with full bands, and was sold at auction in 2018 for $120,000. 8,850,000 San Francisco Mint Mercury dimes were struck in 1919, effectively riding the tail end of an economic boom. Among other factors, the lifting of price controls and soaring inflation led to an economic slowdown in the following year, and by 1921, only 2 years later, no dimes would be minted at San Francisco whatsoever. This high-grade gem was slabbed by PCGS as MS66 with full bands and was sold at auction in 2024 for the sum of $132,000. The 1918 S-dime is usually seen with weakness, more oftentimes called soft details, on the center, and sometimes even the lower bands, even in coins with higher grades, hence the reason why full bands coins gain premiums in the marketplace. A clue to why this might be lies in the higher mintage figure of 19,300,000 coins, which was achieved using only 66 reverse dies, meaning that on average each die produced 303,930 coins, which is really quite high for the era. Much higher, in fact, than the Philadelphia Mint for the same year that only got 88,178 coins per reverse. It seems probable then that the die spacing was set too far apart, meaning that they could get greater use out of each individual die, but also that the coins would have a weaker strike and that all of the details would not be fully struck up. This coin is one of these rare examples that does get full bands designation for the date. Graded as MS67 full bands, it sold in 2019 for $144,000. A 1919D Mercury dime is a bit of an odd pick to end up on the top 10 list. Speaking in general terms, the issue is nearly perfectly average in almost every regard. A mintage of just under 10 million coins, most of which were fairly well struck, although some peripheral weaknesses is typical. But if a coin ends up on this list, it is hardly typical. This fully struck gem is the definition of a conditional rarity in almost every sense. Graded by PCGS as MS66 with the coveted full bands designation, it was sold in 2019 for $156,000. The 1918 Denver Mint dime is one of the most difficult coins in the entire series to obtain with the coveted full bands designation, but one of the most interesting things about the 1918 issue, from any mint really, was the introduction of new obverse design hub for the Mercury head or winged Liberty design, strengthening or even subtly altering many of the design elements on the obverse of the coin. The details and contour of the nose, the wings, and the bust, along with details of the eye, the hair, and the Phrygian cap, can all be pointed to in this regard. This example of the coin was graded by PCGS as MS67 with full bands and sold in 2015 for a record-setting $182,125. The famous 1916D Mercury dime has the distinction of being the lowest mintage coin and the top key date for the series. The Denver Mint had just barely begun minting the first year of issue coin when they received an urgent order for another $4 million quarter dollars that were needed in circulation. This was in November of 1916. So, with only 264,000 of the new Mercury dimes already minted, and no more time to strike any more before the end of the year, a low mintage rarity was created. This stunning example, graded as MS67 with full band lines, was sold from the D. Brent Pogue collection in 2020 for $204,000. In 1931, the nation, and much of the world, was firmly in the grasp of the Great Depression. As a result, very few coins were minted for circulation. In fact, no dimes would be minted at all in 1932 and 33, and San Francisco would not strike dimes again until 1935. And the 1931 S coin like this is ranked as the 6th lowest mintage coin in the series, with only 1,800,000 coins struck. This lovely example is one of the finest certified of those remaining, at a grade of MS67 Plus with full bands from PCGS, and it was sold in 2019 for the sum of $270,250. In overall terms, the 1938 S dime is, well, not exactly a rare coin, with 8,090,000 coins minted. Even by San Francisco Mint standards, that's really not that low. But where this specific coin that we are looking at now stands out is in sheer grade and eye appeal. This coin is Pop 1, the sole finest known for the issue, even if it is by just a meager half a grade point. Add to that the seemingly never-ending toning that is seen on both sides of the coin, that ranges from rich red, orange, gold, magenta, olive, emerald, and icy silver blue hues that are all augmented by strong mint brilliance, and this coin becomes one of a kind. Graded by PCGS as MS68 Plus with full band lines and certified by CAC, you can begin to understand why it sold in 2019 for $364,250. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch another video about the top 10 most expensive standing Liberty quarters right here next. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.